So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the DOJ, the Department of Justice, as they read off his charges and things that they found in his hotel room.
That used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way.
So as y'all can see, Diddy has a lot of damning charges against him. And like they say, a lot of these things have been going on for years. And shout out to Dewan B, the one brother that's usually on Craig Facts podcast show. He's been on Corey Holcomb's show before. Very informative brother. He brought up a good mention when I was watching him earlier this morning. He was talking about Puffy's introduction possibly into this lifestyle, allegedly, Clive Davis. Clive Davis is over Arista. He's the one that gave Diddy the imprint for Bad Boy. And allegedly, his parties has been very legendary. And he's openly bisexual. This is what he's claimed in his own book, that he's bisexual. So a lot of people believe or are claiming and alleging that Diddy learned from this guy to be this way. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of damning evidence. They talk about, you know, going into his hotel room, finding drugs, finding lubrication, finding drinks mixed with stuff, like all kinds of stuff, harming people and things of that nature. And that's not something you can get away with forever. It doesn't matter just because you might try to pay somebody else. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna come at you. Especially when they had the Me Too movement. They opened up allegations in New York. The Republicans claim that they only did it just to get Trump, but they got a lot of people. You see, they got Harvey Weinstein, they got R. Kelly, they got Bill Cosby, and many others. So it's not to me, it's not that it was all just about Trump. You had so many people that was doing so many things. So of course they're gonna make it where people can come out and actually speak on it. So we gotta understand that, this is not the lifestyle you want, especially with somebody like Diddy, his status, to try to force people to do certain things. You don't have to do all that. A lot of women out there gonna do what you want, and if he's into men allegedly, they're gonna do what you want. You don't necessarily have to try to take nothing from nobody, but you do have people out there not saying this is true about Diddy. These are allegations until we find out the truth and they do their investigation. But you have women and men out there, if that's what he is truly into, that will be, cooperative in things that you want to do because, look, you're Diddy. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. So I don't know if it's just how long this is going to take. This is going to take time, but they don't want to release him because they don't want him to just disappear. He's a flight risk. You know what I mean? So these are a lot of crazy allegations. But we have been hearing these allegations on Diddy for years. So I want y'all comments in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think it's about time that they got Diddy, or do you think some of this damning allegations and claims that these alleged victims are making are true? You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. This your boy JTL. This is another episode of Check Me Out Music. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, especially if this is your first time checking us out. And we out. Chill.